Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Connect, Share, Prosper. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Chaz Wilson. And Chaz, we are on this roll. We are on a roll in December. Man, on a roll, productivity roll. And we're picking up, last time we talked about preferred productivity calendars and journals, and you had dropped in that we could talk about the importance of structure and predictability. And so I wanted to take you up on that. Let's talk about how that impacts our productivity. Walk me through that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest piece of it, like I'd mentioned in the previous episode, was that it creates a rhythm, right? So for instance, my team meetings are every other week. They just know that they're going to happen. They know how long they're going to be. There's an agenda to it. Everything is structured because then it creates predictability and it creates a rhythm.
Yep.
And it brings a balance. It brings this harmony, this balance to your personal life. If I have an agreement, which is again another episode, I have this agreement with my wife, like this is when I'm going to be home from this time to this time, again, barring traffic and other circumstances, right. But this is the time you can expect because this is what we've agreed upon for me to be home. That creates a rhythm in my house.
Yeah.
What creates that crazy and chaotic disharmony, if you will, is the fact that like one day I show up at 4 and the next night I show up at 8 and then I'm midnight the next night and then I'm back at 9 and 7. It's like they never know when they can count on me.
Right.
Rhythm brings a balance to those around me. So that's why I think it's so important to follow that calendar.
I love it. If you looked at this, I mean, that goes back, I guess it goes back to our previous episode on calendaring and journaling. Like if you looked at mine, from 10 to 3 in my calendar is talk to humans time. Like that's when whether it's interviews like this or it's coaching calls or whatever it is, onboarding, sales calls, any of that happens between 10 and 3. And that's actually in my calendar, actually mark it as available so that people can book on my calendar link.
Yep.
And then if you go before that, it's strategic and strategy time, planning time. And that's actually marked as busy. So nobody can book on that. And then if you go to 3 to 5 PM, it's actually admin and housekeeping. And that also is busy. So nobody can book there. That's sort of how I set it. Do you set it up similarly like that for the rhythm of things?
Yeah, so I do. I used to actually have a booking thing and we've kind of eliminated that because it was one of either two things. One is I was getting booked times that I no longer wanted to have booked. And two, they couldn't find anything for 3 or 4 weeks and they're getting upset. So they're like, hey, what's the point of this thing?
Yeah.
I get it. I do. I book it that way. And then, one of the biggest challenges I'm having in that rhythm is that I'm getting to a place of scale where I have so many appointments a day. Like one of the things I had to go to the team recently, and it happened again today. Like, guys, I have to eat. I have to have fuel during the day.
Yeah.
I don't like to block an hour for lunch. And the reason is because number one, I don't think I need an hour.
Yep.
Number two, I would deal with people on the East and West Coast. And so sometimes, when it's noon here, it's 1 PM on the East Coast. And so that's a good time for me to connect with people when they just get back from lunch. So the only challenge is I have to find time to eat. And that's what I haven't created a very good rhythm with. In my calendar.
So I love the conversation of rhythm. I love it. I've used that word for years now when I talk to clients and coaching clients around like, look, how you got to think about like the rhythm of it. Like you will just get more energy if you play to the rhythm of it than if you try to force everything through. So what I want to know is what are the nuances of like somebody finding the rhythm, right? People will say, oh, well, in the morning, I'm supposed to do some quiet time. Well, what if they take that quiet time too far? Now their energy actually tanks instead of ramps up. Like there are these parts of rhythm where, how did you find your rhythm? How did you find it?
Trial and error, and then just giving myself permission, if you will, to not live up to somebody else's expectations in my calendar, my rhythms. So for instance, like, I know the school of thought of people like, you got to be first in the office, 7 o'clock, be there, whatever. That's not my life. That's not my rhythm. It doesn't work for me. So I am very, like, one of the things I learned is that I'm very good if I do, I'm at the gym by 5:45, 6 a.m. I'm there for a good hour plus. I like that rhythm time because other people are leaving because they got to get to work by 7 or whatever. They're out. So I like that quiet time. I like that. So I learned for myself that by the time I get done and I leave by like 8:15, 8:30, something like that, get to the office 9:30, let's say, I don't take appointments typically until 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Man, 10 a.m. Yeah, but you know what? Man, I'm firing through appointments straight till 4:30.
Right.
As I set my morning up that way, like I'm ready. I know that's my rhythm.
How do you know, how long do you give it? So there's trial and error, but how long do you give it to be like, yeah, I tried this for a year, or I tried this for 2 days. Like, how do I know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends context of what it is. Like, I don't know what the right answer is.
Or maybe the question is, what do you look for?
So 2 things I look for, again, not being busy, because I can be busy anytime. Does it help my productivity? Again, I'll give you another example.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we talked about me eating. So again, I started to learn that an hour for lunch just didn't work. And it didn't work for me because of 2 things. Well, maybe 3, but one is because I expanded that much time, I also expanded my waist. I was like eating more because I'm like, I got this all this time. And they're eating.
Right.
I'm like, I don't need an hour to eat. Who said it needed to be an hour? I don't know. So I'm not going to take an hour. And so that's 1. 2 is I found my energy then after that being lower because I took this gap that just became too long.
Yeah.
Started to be aware of the things and like challenging status quo of like I needed to have an hour for lunch. So started to look at how I felt, how productivity was. Do I feel fulfilled by this? And if I don't, I'm going to stop doing it. I'm going to find work for me.
Okay. So on the heels of that, I think you can sometimes if you're looking for it, you could answer the question pretty quickly about like, does this fit? Well, I don't know. How do you feel right now? Do you feel like you're ramping up productivity, or do you feel like you're stalled? And it doesn't take a year of trial and error of trying the same 1 hour lunch to be like, yeah, I've kind of known this for 9 months, or like like just start to notice like how is it ramping up your production? I think that's
part of that is just trying to have a high sense of awareness.
Yeah.
Like always aware of these things and not just going through motions. I think when you go through motions, you miss this stuff. I do. I still miss stuff, I'm sure. But like creating that rhythm balance is just, there's so much benefit to it that, again, not just for myself, those around me, like they know when I'm going to be available. They know when to reach out to me. It's funny, like because of that, I'll just give you another important thing. Like I don't reach out to people on the weekends. The benefit is most people don't reach out to me on weekends. So my week is very protected because I've intended to set them up that way. So I even if it's high value important, I'll just say, hey, can we connect on Monday?
Yep.
Yeah, sure. We'll connect on Monday. And I respect your time. And in turn, I ask that you respect my time. It doesn't mean I don't take a call. It doesn't mean I don't. Sure. It happens, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
It's only because I say, you know what, this time I'm going to take this call, but I rarely do.
Yeah. No, I like that.
And that's the rhythm I've created.
Rhythm. I love, the gem that came out of this conversation is that in rhythm, I love that you're looking for what works to produce the result you're trying to produce. And you don't have to like drag your heels in that for months and months. You can you just have to be self-aware. And I think that's what's cool. Your new book, that when it comes out, right? Yeah. Your new book talks about self-awareness. And I think that that is sort of what in the background of this whole conversation is you got to be self-aware enough about the current rhythms you have that serve you and don't serve you, right? Serve your goals and don't serve your goals so that you can make some adjustments and tweaks in the moment for a rhythm that actually does.
And Chris, one last thing on this is that so many of those things that we're either doing because we think they work or we're not willing to admit they don't because of the expectations we think other people have on us. Often as an entrepreneur, right? We have these expectations that either us or our clients or our family have on us. Like, again, I'll give you an example because I know realtors it is. Like, I need to give my cell phone to everyone and answer it at any time of the day because that's what everyone expects. That's crap. Honestly, crap, and you need to drop that story because that is garbage. Because the reality is, you pick up a phone right now and you call 10 realtors, I bet one would answer it anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're not answering your phone anyway, so don't give that story. Turn it over to an answering service and then call back when you're able to do it. Like that creates rhythm, Like
yeah, right. Yeah. That's a whole other, because I was just thinking like, there's like, that gets into expectations and your limiting beliefs about like, I mean, anyway, that's a whole other thing, but
But
Good
we do,
point.
we allow people to disrupt our rhythm by what we
Yes.
allow people to do is my point, right?
Right. Yep.
So don't allow them to have access to that thing that could disrupt. If this is what you're carrying around all day and you're following this calendar, then don't give that to every single person. Don't broadcast that to the world so it can disrupt your rhythm.
It's good, man. It's so good. There's a lot embedded in there. We could unpack that for the next year. Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap for predictability and structure in your schedule and creating a rhythm. So if people want to learn more about how you coach people to more productivity and predictability in their lives and their businesses, where can they go?
Yeah, go to chazwilson.com or hit me up on social media. Reach out to me. Listen, if you're watching this as it comes out, we're about to hit 2019, and this is the time to create the best year ever. And to do that, you got to have the skills that we teach. So hit me up on our website, social media.
I love it. Thanks, Chad. See you next time.
You will.